Hi, I'm Mika, and my job today is to convince you that you need to go to Costco on your next trip to Japan. Kind of crazy, I know. I'm telling you to go to an American store while you're traveling throughout Japan, but I think it is so cool, and it was one of my favorite experiences when I went on my last trip to Japan. So let's get into why I think you need to go there. A little background: I love Costco, and I have been wanting to go to Costco Japan for quite some time now. I had never been up until this point. I had time over my last trip, so I made it a priority to go to Costco Japan, and oh boy, do I not regret it. It was so amazing, and it was so cool just to see how different a Costco Japan is and the really cool, unique products they sell there. What does a Costco Japan look like? It literally looks the same. I was like really shocked when I walked in for the first time. I looked around and it literally looked like I was walking into an American Costco. The floors are the same, the ceilings are the same. The way they organize the pallets in the aisles look very similar to Costco's in America, and the carts were large. I think I was expecting it to be a little bit more Japanified, how like Japanese supermarkets are smaller. I don't know, I was expecting it to be a little bit changed, but it wasn't, and I think that's part of Costco's model, is to just be like standardized. Another interesting thing about Costco Japan is all the signs are in both English and Japanese. In regular Japanese supermarkets, you don't really see English as much. I also think it's probably more of a reflection of the fact that Costco is an American brand, an American retailer, so that's probably why. In general, it looks exactly the same, but I think the products are what make it special. They do have American products. Like, as I walked in, the first thing I noticed was the Himalayan sea salt chips that they sell everywhere. However, I think there are a lot of unique Japanese products to Costco Japan, and that's this next section. I'm actually going to break this product section down into 5 categories. The first being pre-made food, the second being fresh produce and meats, the third is snacks and other cooking supplies, the fourth is stationary, household, and personal care, and the fifth is food courts. So you can just kind of skip around to what's most interesting to you, and let's just get into it. So the first is pre-made food. They have so many different types of pre-made food. I think what's really popular about Costco Japan is their sushi and sashimi platters, which are really, really cool. I went near the end of the day, so they only had a couple. I would have totally bought one. I just didn't need that much food, and my friend didn't want that. Next time I go to Japan and I go to Costco, I will totally be buying one of these sushi platters. Some other pre-made foods that they had are pre-made sandwiches. When I went, they had Hawaiian garlic shrimp and all these different types of noodle sets. They have a huge variety of interesting different baked goods. They had a strawberry custard cake, which again I would have bought, but it was too much for a single person. They had madeleines, they had mini pain au chocolat, they had mini kurodots, I don't know. These are croissant donuts, which is crazy. Apparently it's like a really popular thing in Costco Japan. Didn't know these existed. They had pretzel croissants, they had pineapple upside down cake, different types of breads, including garlic ciabatta, Greek yogurt bread, even like savory pastries. They also had a range of different pre-made packaged foods, including American potato salad, chimaki, shumai, and a bunch of different jarred seafoods. A lot of this probably is changing, so like what I'm telling you, what I saw, is probably not what you will see. In general, all the pre-made food was very interesting. If I had been better prepared, or if I had known all the cool stuff they would have had, I would have probably bought some more and tried them. The next category is fresh produce and meats. They have a lot of different types of wagyu, which is very interesting, different cuts, and these are made in Japan wagyu. And they even have beef tongue, which is actually quite popular in Japan. I really like beef tongue. I think it tastes good. In Japan, it's used quite a lot in yakiniku, and it's actually really popular. Now let's talk about vegetables. They have many different types of Japanese specific vegetables, which is really cool to me. They have Japanese eggplant, fresh peanuts, sea asparagus, and even daikon, which is like peak Japanese, and they had many different types of mushrooms. They were so cheap, they were so much, and they had all these different types of mushrooms, including shiitake and maitake, which I love. They also had a lot of different European imported cheeses. They had multiple different types of Parmesan, and they even sold raclette. They don't really sell it that much in the US, and they definitely don't sell it in the US Costco. And I think the absolute cherry on top of this all was the fact that they sold natto, a bulk size, for so cheap. I feel like this is what really makes it a Costco Japan experience, and if I was living in Japan, I would totally have bought this. It's just so cool. Now let's move on to the next category, which is snacks and other food stuff. They have entire aisles of Japanese snacks, including like the Apollo chocolates, the Bandai dinosaur chocolates. These are things I would totally have bought, but again, they're just way too much. They also have a ton of different types of instant noodles. I think the main call outs that I found really interesting were the Pokemon noodles. They had regional specialty ramen from around Japan, and they had the Ichirang instant ramen. That's a big tourist thing that people bring home. And other food stuff that they sold Vermont curry, which I think is, in my opinion, the best curry. They also sold furikake ochazuke packages. And in terms of like prepackaged sweet stuff that I found to be really cool, they had waffles, ampan, and dorayaki, which I think is peak Japanese, and I think that's really cool that they sell it there. Next thing is stationery, household, and personal care. The first being stationery. They have a huge variety of Japanese stationery, much more stationery variety than they probably have in the US Costco's, from my knowledge, but correct me if I'm wrong. There are different types of uni pens, notebooks, and cute character goods like these little Shiba erasers, which I happened to buy because they were also on sale and I wanted them. They also sold the cute little Japanese school children backpacks, which is very cute. Now let's talk about household goods. They had made in Japan ceramics, higher end cookware like this Stob pot, as well as this Bodum coffee grinder, and they had compact appliances meant for table cooking, including this table fryer, this table hot pan, and this table stove. If I was living in Japan, I would totally be hosting like little fry parties. I think that's so cute and cool. And a quick little mention, they do have a lot more Nintendo products than I think a US Costco has. Now let's talk about personal care. They had a bunch of different skincare products. Specifically, they had a lot of sunscreen. I had at this point bought a bunch of stuff at Donkey previously, so I didn't really need to buy new things, but if I had started my trip off at Costco, I would have totally bought some of these sunscreen products. Special mention, they had this really cute Doraemon soap dispenser. Definitely didn't need it, but definitely thought about it. It's so cute, so cute. Now let's talk about the final category, which is the food court. I think what's really cool about Costco is their food courts change by the country they're in. Again, I think the stuff changes so often, so what I'm showing now is probably not what you will see in the future. They have the classic $1.50 Costco and drink combo. That doesn't change. But what I saw was a bulgogi bake, a Portuguese bean soup, chicken stick and potatoes, and roast pork sandwich. I ended up buying the bulgogi bake, taking it home, and having that as my dinner. It was very good. So now I'm gonna quickly go over some tips that you should know before you go to a Costco Japan. Number one, memberships are the same. So you can use your US membership in Japan. They scan it and you can enter. That's what I did. Everything worked out fine. The one thing is payment methods are very different. Costco Japan only accepts MasterCard or cash. I did not have a MasterCard, but I had the Costco Visa credit card, so I assumed that was good enough. They don't take Visa. That was a huge shock to me, and I only had a limited amount of cash, so that prevented me from buying a lot of stuff I probably would have bought otherwise. Next time I go to Japan, I will be prepared with either a MasterCard or a little bit more cash if I was to go inside. Keep that in mind when you go. Let's talk about locations. These Costco's tend to be outside of major cities. It makes sense, they need more space, but because of that, you probably have to plan ahead of time to figure out how to go there. The preferable method is to drive there. It is very car friendly and the parking lots are very large, just like a regular Costco. But if you don't drive or rent a car, which totally makes sense if you don't do that, you can take public transportation there. Just keep in mind, make sure you have enough bags to kind of transport all your goods back. So these are all your options if you end up buying stuff. Number one, if you buy a lot of stuff with a lot of excess packaging, obviously take off the packaging. Two, avoid like the large, bulky, heavy things. I wanted this strawberry milk thing, but I knew it was heavy glass. It just wasn't worth the weight and stress of like lugging that around with me, so I avoided buying it. If there is something that you see that is like a make or break and you need to buy it, you can obviously buy a new suitcase and check it, or you can ship it back home via mail. So that's it. Did I convince you to go to Costco? I hope so. I loved it. It was, again, one of my favorite experiences while I was there. I loved every second. I loved every minute. I think it's worth it alone just to kind of see the different stuff. You don't even have to end up buying anything, but I just find it like a nice little experience to kind of roam and see what locals are actually buying. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Japan Costco product is. If you've been, let me know what your favorite food, what your favorite product has been. If you are planning to go or have any other questions, let me know in the comments below as well. I hope you liked this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.